What's going on, everybody? Welcome back. FantasyTeamAdvisors.com, bringing home the bacon. MLB DFS video is Thursday edition. We are taking a first look at the 9 games, 6 games on the main, 3 games later on in the evening for August 21st. So if you've never been here before, we've already ran 10,000 simulations in the background. And we're giving you our first look. So what we're going to do is we're going to go game by game. We're going to look at the pitchers in both teams, and then we're going to look at our favorite bats from each team in each game. Those are through 10,000 sims, normally about an hour before the main slate locks, so a little bit earlier for Thursday slate. We update the simulations and the projections through 20,000 simulations. So after we go game by game and go both the main and the late slate, we're going to do our other segments. The next one is called the matchup tool. So we're going to look at all of the batters that have a 10 out of 10 matchup rating through 10,000 sims, followed by the pitchers, kind of a little bit of breakdown of pitchers. We call it Pitches Be Crazy. And then finally, for all you sports betting enthusiasts, we do have Makin Bacon segment at the end or towards the end, where we're going to give you some of our favorite bets to look at, both hitters and pitchers for these 9 games. So that being said, we also try to have giveaways. Well, we do have giveaways every single day, 2 of them to be exact. And here's how you could win. Super easy and simple. You got to like this video. You got to be a subscriber to the channel, and you got to leave a comment on the video. You do all 3 of those, and this video right here gets a minimum of 50 likes. You will have a shot at a free week of FTA+. So that's a week of all sports. So depending on when you watch this video, we do have MLB every day. We have PGA on Thursdays. We have MMA on Saturdays. I believe Saturday MMA is at like 3 a.m. Central or Eastern. It's very early. It's in China. And then Sundays, we have NASCAR as well. If this video gets a minimum of 100 likes, you'll have a chance at a free month, 150 likes, a free year, 200 or more likes on this video, a chance at a lifetime pass. And the second way to win, somewhere in the video, there'll be a keyword or key phrase. Be on the lookout for it, type it in, and have your second shot at a free week. On top of, you may win the other one as well. So that being said, we did get a bunch of people to jump in on the yearly pass, what we've got going on. So if you have been on the fence about it, normally a yearly pass to FTA Plus is $199. But it's first come, first served to email me, dfshelp1@gmail.com, and say you are interested in it, because you can get it for $75. We have 10 passes total. And I believe 4 or 5 people jumped on it. So I think we have 4 or 5 passes, or 5 or 6 passes left for that yearly pass. So if you guys are interested, email me. And if we can use it, we will set you up and we'll get you your year for $75 instead of $199. So I didn't have a video yesterday. I recorded the entire thing, and then the sound was off. It was on, but it would speed up, and then it slowed down, and it screeched. And I put it in the Discord. So if you want to see the absolutely free Discord, check that out down below. So we are going to see who the 2 winners are from Tuesday's video, and hopefully you are one of them. So the first one, even if the keyword is in this one, it's just for the likes on the video. So there you go. Oh, Serpico X. Congratulations. Email me. You did have the keyword, but we're still going to re-roll it. So email me, dfshelp1@gmail.com. You won yourself a free week from getting the 88 likes on the video. So if you have a username on the website, let me know what it is. If you do not, I just need a username, email, and password. And in the comment or the subject line, say you're the 819 video likes winner. So I'm going to re-roll it. You still have a 1 in 31 chance to be the picked for the Thunder keyword, which was Tuesday's keyword. And there you go. T Taylor 14. I hate Thunder, scares the crap out of me. Same with my child. That's why I love thunderstorms. I would sit out on the porch if I have a covered porch and watch it, but I do not. So congratulations, T Taylor. You know the drill. I think you won last week as well, multiple times. That's all you got to do. Come back every single day. Make sure you follow the guidelines and have your shot at winning. So you know the drill. Email me, subject line, say you are the 819 keyword winner. So we are going to use outlier.bet to check out everything. We're going to break it down. If you want to use them, the link is down below. We have the article right here. I've added a couple things, added some links at the bottom. So we've got the top 3 BVP plays in this. We've got our top 3 of our favorite stacks, and then 4 players from each team in our favorite stack. So if you want to check that out and help out the channel, help out the website, click the link in the description for this article. So we're going to start. Looking at ballpark factors, smaller slate today. Steinbrenner Field, Steinbrenner Field, St. Louis Cardinals going into Tampa Bay. Has a wind is blowing directly out, has a 48% chance of home runs. And then Coors Field, the Dodgers at Colorado, the wind is blowing in, but it's very hot and humid, and the ball flies out of there. 25% chance of home runs in this game. So we are going to look at this. It has not been confirmed yet that it is Urania. He didn't start the last game on last Friday. He came in and pitched, I believe, 5 innings after the opener, 5.2 innings after the opener. He did give up no runs. He had 3 strikeouts, had 16.95. He's 5,500, so they have bumped him up a little bit. He still comes in with a 4.06 ERA. You look at his splits when he's already faced the Athletics once, only went 2 innings. It is not confirmed that it is in fact him yet, so we don't know for sure. And even if it's not him, he might come in maybe behind Ole, I believe is who the opener was for Friday, which they could go with that same exact breakdown. We'll kind of wait to see. And then you got Jack Perkins. So Perkins pitched last Friday. We took him because the Angels strike out the most. And he ended up getting 7 Ks in there, had 18.45. Obviously, we love to see that 5,900. He's now at 7,200, so he is very expensive. 5 to 6 innings the past couple of starts. So we kind of see that. For tournaments, since there's 6 games, I think Perkins is probably a pitcher you could look at. But I don't like that his price went up to 7,200. He's only got 2 starts under his belt with the innings there. So 11 innings worth of starts. That does scare me. So let's look at the bats just in case we are not going with the pitchers in this one. So the Athletics, we don't know who's pitching. If it is Urania, if it is an opener, I still like the Athletics against Urania. In that instance, I would look at Nick Kurtz, probably my number 1. Soderstrom would be my number 2. And I'm probably going to go with Langoliers and Brent Rooker if I'm going with the Athletics, which I probably would look at the Athletics regardless of who comes in. If any pitcher comes in for the Twins that's not Joe Ryan, I would usually stack against them. Twins bats, obviously, have never faced Jack Perkins before. Against righties, though, this year, like my top 3, probably Byron Buxton, Trevor Larnach, Luke Keeschel. Those are my top 3 that I would look at. There's always a Cody Clemens or a Royce Lewis you could look in there. It really just depends on the lineup that's going to come out from Minnesota. As you know, they traded a lot of people away at the deadline. Lineups kind of come out back and forth, and we're seeing what we've got every single day. So whoever the Twins pitcher is, I'm probably not taking them. I would look rather at the Athletics as a stack in this one. We move to the Rangers at the Royals. Again, this is a pitcher's ballpark. It's a massive ballpark. It's the biggest outfield in the major leagues. And we look at that, and it's Patrick Corbin versus Michael Lorenzen. Now, Patrick Corbin coming in, we know like he was good for Arizona. He then went to Washington for however many years, and he was 5 years or so, just terrible. He was terrible there. He's bounced back, and he's been okay. So we look at that. And weather not being a concern, should be hot. It's beautiful there. So you got Lorenzen coming in. He did pitch last on Saturday. He then had over a month off. In between, you can see a little bit of time off. He came in 4 innings in that one. So it might be in some sort of pitch count. I mean, he should get a longer leash in this one. It is a better matchup. Now, Texas, they do hit righties better than lefties overall as a team. You look at splits, he has not faced them this year. In his career, 28 plate appearances, 240 batting average. So he hasn't seen them much. But we do look at this. On the season, he's averaging 12.9 on DraftKings. Basically, on DraftKings, you need around 20 to 30 fantasy points per pitcher. In theory, we'd love to see 25 to 30. When he pitches at home, he does have a better ERA. Like I said, it's a pitcher's ballpark. He's got a 3.40 ERA in there. Patrick Corbin, on the other hand, comes in with a 4.45 ERA. He did last pitch on Saturday against Toronto, minus 10.75, 2.1 innings, 7 earned runs. He has not gone 5 innings in August yet. Okay. His pitch counts, it's there. It's like 60 to 80, about the range. You'd obviously love to see 100 plus. He's done that only a couple of times since June 30th. Kansas City against lefties, I think I'd probably go in that direction. But let's take a look on both sides. So Texas against Lorenzen, they've never had success against him really. But you can see against righties, the only 2 that don't hit better against righties Ezekiel Duran, and Freeman. So if I'm taking 3 batters here, and now this is a pitcher's ballpark, but if I am taking 3 batters, it's Seager, my number 1. It's probably Wyatt Langford, number 2, because I do love the stolen base potential from him. And I'm probably looking at, it depends, but Josh Smith or Marcus Semien is where I would go in this one. Kansas City against Corbin, you do see Luke Maile, Garcia, India, Bobby Witt Jr. They all have 1 home run against him. Against left-handed pitching this year, not as ideal, but I would still take Bobby Witt Jr. I would still take Maikel Garcia, and I'm probably still, depending, I think if he gets in there, I don't know if he will start at Randall Grichuk against lefty. Should be a cheaper option there, especially if you're trying to find a sneaky little Kansas City stack in this one. I just don't trust either pitcher. In cash, with 6 games, you can always throw him in a tournament if you make like 20-plus lineups. But there's just other pitchers I'd rather look at in this one. I'm a little bit cautious here taking pitching in Kansas City. Then we got the Brewers at the Cubs here. We got Amanaga versus Quinn Priester. Priester in his career, 59 plate appearances against them, 327 batting average. Amanaga, 55 plate appearances, 308 batting average. So basically the same, both given up over 300 batting average against them. He is coming off a good game here on Saturday against Pittsburgh, 7 innings, 6 Ks, 22.75. Ended up winning that game 3-1. He has faced Milwaukee twice this year. He's averaged 18 fantasy points per game, which is pretty good. 10.2 innings, 5 earned runs, 12 strikeouts. You look at that when he pitches at home this year, he does have a better ERA of 2.45. If we look at game logs against Milwaukee, 22.25 on July 30th, and then 13.75 on the road in Milwaukee. So he has been better at home overall and against this Milwaukee team at home. Then you got Quinn Priester. He did have a bad game against the Mets. Not really anything much going on against Cincy at 13.8. He's faced the Cubs twice this year. 1 start, 10 innings, 9 earned runs, 7 Ks. The last time he faced them was July 29th, 12.75. Ended up getting the win in this one. 5.2 innings, 2 earned runs, and 3 Ks. But then when the Cubs bats were really hot, he had minus 2.25. So they've cooled down a little bit. They're not as hot as they were when they faced him back in May. So I do give that a little bit of consideration as well. Seeing as how Quinn Priester on the road has a little bit better ERA, it's basically the same, 3.25. I don't know if home and away will factor into it as much, but this ballpark, the wind, all those ballpark factors, they play a pivotal role here. So if you're not going either pitcher there, and we are going bats, Milwaukee against Amanaga, William Contreras has 2 home runs. Blake Perkins and Christian Yelich both have 1. Against lefties, they're hitting pretty well. If I were to take some, Caleb Durbin's batting 281 against lefties. We always look at him against a lefty. Andrew Vaughn will be a cheaper option. Blake Perkins is an option. And then obviously, you do have a little bit of Isaac Collins and Christian Yelich that I would throw in there for a very hot-hitting Milwaukee team. Cubs against Priester. You got Michael Busch, Horner, PCA, and Suzuki all have 1 home run against him. Against right-handed pitching, not as well. I know he struggled, but still overall this year, PCA batting 289 with 20 home runs I would look at. Carson Kelly I would look at. Michael Busch I would look at. You could go Casey as well, coming up here. Be a cheaper option. Maybe a Kyle Tucker or say a Suzuki. I'd probably take Suzuki over Tucker just because Tucker has struggled recently. I don't know what's going on. It's a contract year. It's having a bad contract year to try and get a $400 million contract. So we see that. We see you, Kyle Tucker. Pitching-wise, I don't know. With both of the offenses, both the pitchers here averaging less than 17 fantasy points a game, a little bit iffy there. Dodgers at the Rockies. Obviously, Dolander's faced them 1 time, 17 plate appearances. Actually had really good success against them. Kershaw, 55 plate appearances, 189. It's always scary to take a pitcher in Coors. I don't mind Kershaw. If he can go 6 innings, he's gone 6 innings in his 3 last starts. He's gotten the win in all of 3 of those last games here. I don't mind that at all. You look at splits, he's already faced Colorado once this year, 23.7 fantasy points, had 6 innings, 1 earned run, and 5 Ks. I assume that was in... No, that was in Coors. So he's already had success in Coors this year. And then they traded away a couple of guys. I don't mind him. That's why he's the picture of the video and article. Then we have Chase Dollander, 6.43 ERA, Splits wise, he faced Dodgers once, went 5.2 innings, 3 earned runs, 5.8 fantasy points, was obviously not enough. And then when he pitches at home this year, he has a 9.16 ERA. I'm off of Dollander. I would look at Kershaw, and then I would obviously look at the bat. So Ohtani, obviously Ohtani. The other night, his home run chance odds were plus 150, and he hit one. I mean, I would stack the Dodgers. So Ohtani, Freeman, Betts, Will Smith, pretty much everyone in this lineup, Teoscar Hernandez, Andy Pages, depending on who's out there. A full Dodger stack and Clayton Kershaw is probably where I'd go in this one. You can always throw Dollander there for a tournament because he's 5,000 and he's going up against a really good hitting team. And if he goes off, his ownership's probably less than 5%. But again, it's a very big if. I don't trust him enough. I'll have maybe, if I make 20 lineups, he would be in one of them because you'd be able to afford pretty much everybody else. But be very cautious about that one. Then we got the Mets at the Nationals. Battle of the lefties, Sean Manaea versus Mackenzie Gore. Gore costs 9,000. He's averaging 17 fantasy points. Splits-wise, he has faced the Mets once this year, went 6 innings, 6 Ks, 2 earned runs, had 18.5. At his price of 9,000, 18.5 is not enough. We need 20 plus out of him. When he pitches at home, he does have a worse ERA of 4.62. And we know the Mets are a good hitting team when on all cylinders. It just depends if that's the offense we're going to get there. He had a really, really good game in San Francisco, 35.1. He went 6 innings with 10 Ks, but it's been very up and down. I think that's his 3rd time this year that he's had double-digit strikeouts. Other than that, we're looking at like 4, 2, 7, 2, like a bunch of 2s to 5 range, and then up to 7. Gore scares me a little bit. And then you got Sean Manaea, 4.78 ERA. Splits-wise, he has not faced the Nationals this year. In his career, 42 plate appearances, 300 batting average. On the season, he's only averaging 13.1. And when he pitches on the road, he does have a 4.38 ERA, which is better than 5 on the road, but it's still elevated. He's only given up 2 starts. I mean, yeah, he hasn't been out there much. I was going to say the numbers seemed weird. So he hasn't been out there much. Honestly, at their prices, I don't know if I like either of the pitchers. I'm probably leaning more towards the bats overall than I would the pitchers, but you can always check it out. So if I'm not looking at bats, I'm not looking at pitching, I'm just looking at like the Mets bats. Against Gore, Pete Alonso 1 for 18, but that one hit is a home run. Mark Vientos has a home run. Soto has one, and so does Tyrone Taylor. Against lefties, they don't do as well, but I would look at Jeff McNeil. I think Jeff McNeil has the most hits for BVP for the day. I don't know if he gets in there, but Jeff McNeil makes sense. I would look at Juan Soto. I would look at Cedric Mullins if he gets a start in the outfield. He just hits 281 against lefties this year. He hits better than he does against righties. There's always a Lindor. There's always a Brandon Nimmo as well if you're going for a full Mets stack. And then Washington against Manaea. Riley Adams has a home run, and that is it. Against lefties this year, you can see they don't hit as well. If we are looking at some, James Wood batting 275 with double-digit home runs, I would look at. Robert Hassel, I don't know if he gets in there, but he would be a very cheap option for you. And Andres Chaparro just got called up, I think, Tuesday or Wednesday. I would look at him. He would be a cheap option. I mean, if you go Wood, Hassel, Chaparro, those 3, Kyber Ruiz and Josh Bell, or Kyber Ruiz and CJ Abrams, that's a pretty decent stack with 2 lower-owned guys that are probably less than 5%. Pitching-wise, I don't trust that. I mean, there's not a ton of pitching that I love in this, to be completely honest. And then the final game on the main slate, we've got the Giants at the Padres. We got Verlander versus Cease. This is a pitcher's park in San Diego. Verlander in his career, 106 plate appearances, 220 batting average. Dylan Cease, 67 plate appearances, 296 batting average. So he is there, 26.9 K percentage. So not too bad there. Cease has not looked as good as we are used to see him. He's got 4.61 ERA. Last Saturday against the Dodgers, 0.7 fantasy points, only went 3.1 innings. This year against San Francisco, 5 innings, 7 Ks, had only 14.4. He's very expensive and he has not had success. When he pitches at home, he does have a better ERA of 3.61 compared to 5.65 on the road. And when he faced San Francisco before, He was in San Francisco, which is an even better ballpark, but gave up 3 earned runs in that in 5 innings. Scares me a little bit at his price. And then Verlander's the same thing. 4.32 ERA. He's had a lot of negative fantasy points here. Coming off a great game against Tampa Bay, 30-plus fantasy points, which was his best outing of the year. Splits-wise, he has not faced San Diego. San Diego, they do hit righties better. When he pitches on the road this year, he's got a worse ERA of 4.36. So if we're looking just strictly at the bats in this one, which we absolutely can right now, we've got San Francisco bats against Cease. McRae is the only one with a home run. But against righties, like if I'm taking a stack here, Elliot Ramos, for sure. Probably Billy Adames would be 2. Rafi Devers would be 3. If you want a couple more, Casey Schmidt, I would look at maybe Wilmer Flores for a full Giant stack. And then San Diego against Verlander, no one's actually hit a home run, but they do hit righties better. So I would look at Machado. I would look at Fernando Tatis Jr. I would look at Ramon Laureano. Now, I don't know if Laureano gets in there, but I would look at him. And then a couple more. I think Luis Ariz getting on base easily, probably where we're looking. And then maybe a Ryan O'Hearn, batting 277. He hits the same against righties and lefties. Probably is in this lineup as well. So that's your main slate done. Just to overhaul it, like Amanaga, I'm okay with, but he's very expensive. This is just one of those days where we do have 9 total games, 6 on this slate. The pitching early, or main slate, I should say, it's not the best. I'm guessing Friday slate's going to be a little bit better. It has to be better pitching. But yeah, that's your early or your main slate done. Now we're going to look at the 3 games late. We've got the Astros at the Orioles. You got Jason Alexander versus Brandon Young. Alexander in his career, 22 plate appearances, .095 against Baltimore. And then Brant with striking out 27.3% of those batters. So that's basically a 1 total start there. And then Brandon Young, 28 plate appearances, .071. So both have had success. I think both came this year. Brandon Young, 1-0 record. He's 1-6 this year. His only win came against Houston. 8 innings, 1.12 hits per 9. Didn't really have the strikeouts, but didn't walk anyone either. Barely gave up hits, barely strikeouts, but didn't walk anyone. Was just effective, got the ball on the ground, and did what he needed to do. No home runs, which is crazy. The only person that got a hit was Urias and then Jesus Sanchez. I'm assuming the Sanchez one came back when he was with a different team. So if you aren't going Young, I mean, both are going to be cheaper options today. If you're going Houston bats, now Houston, they went 28 innings without scoring. They did score runs on Wednesday. But if I'm looking at some, it's probably Altuve. It's probably Jeremy Pena. It's probably Carlos Correa, who's been on fire since getting traded. Those would be my top 3. You can always throw in a Sanchez or Mauricio Dubon. Dubon did have a home run on Wednesday. And then Baltimore against Jason Alexander. Dylan Carlson's the only one that got a hit against him. 2 for 4 with 1 home run. Against right-handed pitching, though, they do hit very well. So if you're not going to go Jason Alexander, Gunnar Henderson batting over 300. Jeremiah Jackson will be a cheaper option, batting 393. Depending, you've got Ryan Mountcastle. You could throw in a Jordan Westberg as well. There's always Colton Cowser, Dylan Carlson. It just depends on the lineup that comes out for Baltimore. But pitching-wise, I kind of like both of those pitchers for tournaments. I'm not going to lie. Next game, the Red Sox at the Yankees. Right here, it's Lucas Giolito versus to be announced. Now, if it follows the rotation, it should be Luis Gil, who I saw. Yeah, so it is Luis Gil. Unless they change it, they always could. He obviously has a 1-1 record. He got the dub when I was at the game last Friday. Had some good stuff, but then got into the strike zone. The strike zone was terrible for both teams. They were strikes not being called, and they were calling strikes on balls that were 3 feet outside. It was wild. Heel has barely faced them, but they really haven't done anything against him. Boston bats against righties this year. Nate Lowe, you guys know that I love to take him. His first game with the Sox, he had a home run. I don't know why they didn't play on Wednesday. It was weird. I thought usually every team plays, but if I'm taking bats, it's probably Nate Lowe, probably Duran, probably Wilyer Abreu. Carlos Narvaez, for whatever reason, got traded from the Yankees last year or this year, and he's just killed them in the games they've played. And if I'm looking for a fifth one, probably Rafaela would be where I'd go. Yankees bats against Giolito. Stanton does have a home run, and he's been on fire. You got to get him in the lineup. If I'm stacking the Yankees here, it's Jazz, Stanton, Judge, Belly, and then depending, Ben Rice has been on fire. Ryan McMahon is a cheaper option there. Caballero could be a cheaper option. Got Trent Grisham. Like, I don't mind kind of a double Yankee stack here, meaning I like more than 5 of the guys we can put in a lineup. So maybe we look at that and we go from there. And then the final game, we got the Cardinals at the Rays. You got Sonny Gray versus to be announced. So Sonny Gray pitched didn't do well against the Yankees on Saturday. Give up a ton of runs. In this ballpark with the wind blowing directly out, it has not been confirmed who Tampa Bay's pitcher is yet. They think it's going to be Joe Boyle, but it's not been confirmed. I'm not looking at either pitcher. I would just look at the bats. 100%, I would look at the bats. Cardinals bats, I don't love them, but I would look at Alec Burleson, Lars Nootbaar, Mason Wynn, Thomas Saggese, and probably, I don't know, Nolan Gorman you could throw in there for a fifth one. I think there's going to be a ton of runs in this game. It's just hot and humid. The ball's flying out of there. Tampa Bay against Gray, the only one that's had success is Brandon Lau. Against right-handed pitching, though, you can see there's only 3 guys on this team that do not hit righties better. So I'm looking at Brandon Lau. I'm looking at Jake Mangum. I got Junior Caminero. I got Yandy Diaz. I think I got to get in Chandler Simpson as well. Like, he doesn't hit righties better, but he's still batting .291. He's got a ton of speed. Get you on there, get you stolen bases, and get you fantasy points. So there you have it. That is Thursday's main slate and late slate done. We've got 6 games early, 3 games late. That's what we've got. Now we're going to look at all of the batters that have a 10 out of 10 matchup rating. Not a ton today, but we'll go through what we've got. So yeah, let's rock and roll. We got Shohei Ohtani at the top. I think a full Colorado or Dodger stack in Coors against Dollanders, the play here. Mookie Betts is 2. Number 3 is Freddie Freeman. 4 is Bobby Witt Jr. 5 is Starling Marte. 6 is Will Smith. 7 is Juan Soto. 8, Michael Garcia. 9, Jonathan India. 10, Vinny Pasquantino. 11, Sal Perez. 12, Jordan Westberg. 13, Gunnar Henderson. 14, Randall Grichuk. And 15, Corey Seager, which I love those guys. A full Dodger stack makes the most sense to me. I then follow that. Probably I'm looking at a Kansas City stack against Corbin. And then I think I like the Yankees against Lucas Giolito in this situation. So now we're going to do pitches be crazy. So what this is, if you've never been here before, is we're looking at the top or the bottom 5 teams that strike out the most and the pitchers going against them. But before we do that, the keyword of the day is headphone. Keyword of the day. So, number 1 pitcher, according to Pitches Be Crazy, is Clayton Kershaw at Colorado. He's already had success here. The Rockies strike out 9.8 times per game, 9.71 at home. Number 2 is, if it is in fact Luis Heel against Boston. Boston strikes out 8.85 times per game, but they strike out 10.07 on the road. Number 3 is Lucas Giolito at the Yankees. The Yankees strike out 8.73 times per game, 8.05 at home. Number 4 is Jason Alexander at Baltimore. Baltimore strikes out 8.64 times per game, 8.35 at home. And number 5 is Dylan Cease versus San Francisco. San Francisco Giants strike out 8.60 times per game, 9.29 on the road. And then the final segment, we are going to talk about make and bake. We're going to look at the bats and the pitchers that we like. These are ones that I would focus on targeting, whether or not it's 1+ hit, 1+ RBI. You could maybe go home runs, but I probably wouldn't. Any direction you can go into, we'll look at it. So number 1 is Ohtani. Very expensive for DFS, but pretty good for whatever you want to do with sports betting. Number 2 is Mookie Betts. 3 is Ezequiel Tovar. 4 is Freddie Freeman. 5 is Bobby Witt Jr. 6 is Starling Marte. 7 is Hunter Goodman. 8, Sal Perez. 9, Vinny Pasquantino. 10, Will Smith. 11, Michael Garcia. 12, Randall Grichuk. 13, Gunnar Henderson. And 14 is Michael Conforto versus Chase Dolan. So those are 14 batters you could look at. Mix it up a little bit. Obviously, don't parlay 14. I mean, you could, but you're not going to hit a 14-leg parlay as much as you want to. You are not. I'm going to take it easy today on the pitching. But if you want to target some of these strikeout numbers, Dylan Cease, 7+ strikeouts you could look at, but again, be cautious as ERA is up there, and San Francisco has hit him in the past. Brandon Young against Houston, I would look at 4+ strikeouts, maybe even tease it up to 5. Like, I don't love much. Jason Alexander against Baltimore, 4+ strikeouts, maybe go up to 5+ strikeouts. And then Clayton Kershaw against the Rockies, 3+ strikeouts, I think is the line. But if you want to tease it up to like 4, maybe 5, you could be cautious with this one. I don't love the pitching today, like I said, so I don't know if I'll have any pitching sports bets here for you. But we will have sports bets here under prop bets. We've got them here, and what you can see is previous days we'll put up plays, and then after we'll put them green or red. And we've done this with NFL. We've done with this NBA as well. So look at this. And you can see it looks like a Christmas tree, but there's days we've gotten like 8+. We're not going to hit all of them. There's going to be days that are bad. I'm not going to lie to you. Like, I'm not hiding that. I'm not Vegas Dave. Like, we've had days where we went undefeated. Then we had days where we had more red than green. We had 2 and 4 in this one. 1 and 5 in this one. Like, we'll have those days, but we take them. Sometimes we do bases, sometimes we do hits, sometimes we do RBIs. We try to switch it up a little bit. Sometimes we do pitching. We've got it there for you. So if you have any questions, those are obviously there. You can check out FantasyTeamAdvisors.com. Sign up for FTA Plus. It's $10 for a week. Starting the NFL, it will be $15 a week. But if you guys get in and email us right now, dfshelp1@gmail.com, and you want that yearly package instead of $199, get it for $75. That's all sports. So that's MLB, NASCAR, NBA, NFL, PGA, and MMA. That's 6 sports that you have. I used to try to do NHL, but I don't watch NHL, and I can't pronounce their names, so videos were kind of rough to do. Same thing with MMA. The majority of the names I cannot pronounce, and I don't want to subject you guys to listening to me just butchering them. So that's what we've got for this video. We're obviously going to be back Friday, hopefully, with weather being good and my microphone working. We'll be back Friday with a full 15 slate breakdown, and hopefully we'll be able to rock and roll there. So let's have a fantastic Thursday, whatever you're doing. Good luck, and as always, bring home some bacon. Peace.